story when it comes to building a business. To some, it's never an easy task to partake. And to some, they have very good stories of how they started from scratch and built their empires to profitability. And that's the reason why Bizna Kenya and MC Moments have partnered to bring you Biz Talks. Biz Talks. And here we shall be hosting mentors, people who have gone ahead of us, people who have created these empires, people who have also on the verge of creating these particular big businesses. And these lessons will be valuable for you, the business person, for you, the aspiring business person, the entrepreneur, so that at least you can make wise decisions when it comes to building that business. So every Friday at 8 a.m. on all business platforms, that's the Facebook and YouTube channel. Good morning and welcome to Biz Talks. I hope you're keeping well. I know it's July, still very cold, and I hope you're having some cup of Melvins from wherever you are. But before then, we want to get into the subject of the day. And today we're talking big matters. If you see me even taking reference, it means it's big stuff, you know? We're talking about matters, big data, data science, and the risks involved. Yeah, you've been giving your data out. Probably you don't even know where it's going to, but there's a lot of information that you've been shedding out. And people who have become wise are using that to make a lot of decisions, even business-led decisions, data-driven decisions, and the likes. And so today in the house we have Timothy Oriedo, who is the CEO and founder of Predictive Analytics Lab Kenya. I like the name, self-explanatory by itself, Predictive Analytics, and we shall be delving in to help you, especially you, a business person, get to know that you can make data-driven decisions for your even marketing and everything else that you do, and the decisions that you make in your own workplace and whatever you do. My goodness, he's here in the house. So Timothy, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see
Thank
you here.
Thank you.
Of course, here we recognize that it's cold outside, so we're going to serve you something. And from
Very
your chest,
cold.
courtesy of Melvin's.
Yeah.
I know you popped in.
Sure.
Did you make a choice?
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, it's exciting to see. I can see.
Beautiful.
At first, I'd gone with hibiscus, but I think I can have a blend of hibiscus and sweet cinnamon.
I like that. I like that. We can mix that. I can see a hibiscus here, definitely.
Yeah.
And the sweet cinnamon. What color is it? Oh, it's right here.
Okay.
So, are you going to have it with some hot water or milk?
Hot water,
Hot water is good,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Lovely. I like the mix, man.
Yes.
In fact, today I feel like I want to do a double shot as well of something.
A blend, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
This whole subject, I did my own research here.
Okay.
And I felt, I mean, if you're not getting into this conversation now as a business person, then you're too late because you're just going in blind. I think this one helps you to really open up your eyes to know what exactly is going around.
Yeah.
So that we can flow. Because I told our viewers this is a very serious subject.
Yes.
And it's very cool. I'm also going to have not a blend, but a double tangawizi.
Double tangawizi here. Yeah.
So that I can get to learn as well.
It's good.
Because if you're watching us from wherever you are, please ensure that you tell any other business person, wherever they are, to tune in. Because they don't want to be walking blind anymore. Well, you can have some know-how of how to go around making decisions in your company. Because every day, as Timothy said somewhere else, every day you are receiving data. If you're interacting with people, if you're having conversations with people, you're interacting with data that you can use in the future to make better decisions.
Yeah.
Many thanks for coming, Timothy.
Thank you.
Just before we get into the conversation about our subject today, I'd like to endear people to know who is Timothy first. I don't know when people ask you to introduce yourself, who you say you are. Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm Timothy.
Yeah.
I'm a family man. Yeah. I'm married, 3 children, and I always like, sharing a lot of the pursuits that I've done out there, with the communities that I engage with. So one of my passionate points is mentorship, coaching, and public speaking. So forums such as this lie close to my heart. I also wear other hats. So besides being the entrepreneur, I'm a data entrepreneur. Basically, that's how I call myself. Using data to make a living. And I'll be sharing with you how I do that. Yeah, but I also wear another hat. I'm also a farmer.
That's interesting.
I do. Yes, I do. I do sugarcane farming. Dairy.
Where is your farm? Is it in Western?
Yes, my farm is in Bungoma County.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the place where we know sugarcane comes.
Yeah, it's a new sugar growing zone. So
Okay.
yeah, we've been trying to leverage a lot as an investment. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
You know, in Kenya, they say if you're only focusing on one source
Mm-hmm.
of revenue, then you're not doing well. You want to diversify.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that gives a very good brief of who Timothy is. And
Yeah.
I want to get straight into the space that you're in, as
Mm-hmm.
you've spoken about.
Mm-hmm.
And I love even the name, you know, Predictive Analytics Lab.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, how did you get into this space?
Yeah.
Was it something that you just bumped into,
Mm-hmm.
or you already knew this is where I'm going?
Yeah, so it's a long history, but I like to shorten it.
Okay.
So, and I'll also use this opportunity to also define what it exactly is, because there is a lot of fads and misconceptions around what data and big data analytics and data science and the business of data is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from the ordinary marketplace, it's always misconstrued to be an IT-related discipline.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my background, I studied mathematics back in university. Graduated from Maseru University 20 years ago, 2001, 20 years ago. And then I moved on to work in the media industry. Yeah, so worked in the media industry at different levels. My last two roles being the general manager at a Nation Media Group, where I managed the radio brands, and then also the head of digital at Citizen. Yeah, so where we were managing the launch and execution of digital assets that Citizen was owning. So that's about 2015, 2016. I transitioned into private practice, set up my own consulting firm, so the Predictive Analytics Lab, which was registered in 2017. And from then on, I started using the insights that I've gathered from running businesses into running my own company. Yeah, but before I did the transition, of course, it had been ages since I learned mathematics, and many things had changed. We had the wave of digitalization, where we had the advent of the use of social media. We had concepts of over the top demand, viewers watching content on demand, and that actually affected traditional media. And we saw a flight of advertisers from the traditional media. So the market share that we used to command then as media houses shrunk. Definitely. Yeah. And with that brought different questions, are we going to still do things the same way? What's the model going forward? So those series of interrogations that we used to have in executive meetings is what triggered me to start investigating what are the other possibilities beyond what we're seeing now, and how is that evolution looking? So that's what led me to enroll for a course at the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, in big data and analytics. By then, we had maturity. We had reached maturity level in terms of our digital marketing. So we had a lot of digital marketing courses. Google was training guys on how to do the SEOs and whatnot. We had Facebook also training SMEs and also professionals on how to do the placement of ads. But then I wanted something now next. So there's something we call the Gartner Hype Cycle of Technology. So the Gartner Hype Cycle of Technology places technology in different continents. So ranging, it's a wave, an oscillation of waves. So ranging from a crest of excitement to a trough of disillusionment. So when new technologies come, they hit a peak, and everyone is going there. It's a crave. And you've seen even in context where the cryptocurrencies have been embraced. It have using the same cycle. So we hit that crest with digital marketing. You can see the number of courses that were being offered around that. And let me just take you back a little bit, because this is a cycle that's repeating itself. It aligns to what we call the Industrial Revolution. So we had the first Industrial Revolution, which was around using the steam. So that's the era of the Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama. If the steam was not powered, Africa would not have been discovered in quotes. America would not have been discovered. So these industrial revolutions lead to discoveries of sorts. And then after the steam, actually the first vehicle was made out of steam. I don't know whether you know it. Wow. It had a huge boiler in the front, using firewood to fire the engine. And the thing will move like almost 100 meters for 45 minutes. Yeah. So the steam engine was critical in laying the foundation of our evolution. Then we moved on to electricity. We had the likes of Tesla, Edison coming up with the innovations, and that started powering businesses to think about innovation. So one of the founders of process manufacturing was Henry Ford. Yeah, the founder of the Ford vehicle that we know it in the early 19th century. Started using modern models in management, creating labor patterns in terms of calculating how much output his employees are having. So this is the early entry of started uses of data in the second industrial revolution. The second industrial revolution also laid the foundation for the third. So we had the aspects of television, we had the radio, we had aeroplanes. So you could see all these gizmos that we consider normal nowadays were not existing before, but they were coming now into use because of availability of electricity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then again we had the third industrial revolution, which started at the tail end of the World War II. And there is a documentary actually on YouTube. You can watch it called the Imitation Game. The Imitation Game. Where there is there's a British scientist, mathematician who helped the army to break the Morse code. So the German were using a code to communicate. So that was the first application of mathematics in a real context of solving problems. So the World War II would not have ended unless this, why not for the algorithm that this guy had created.
That's where data came into play.
Data came into play, and it was a whole team of guys working with different mathematical algorithms, trying to decipher how the Germans were communicating. Eventually, when they broke that code, it was still another process to see how do they let the Germans know that they have broken the code, but they need to counter them subtly. So at least otherwise the Germans will change the code, and they will know that this guy we've been hacked, so we need to change the code. So there's today there's an honor. So the gentleman was called Alan Turing. The British pound is actually has rolled out a currency in his honor. So there's a new currency with his face. There's also what's called the Alan Turing Prize, which is given in his honor. So that's the early advent of algorithms, and it moved on to the 1960s. The biggest breakthrough at that time was the man landing to the moon. So the first computer that was made on the rocket that went to the moon was as big as this room you're sitting here. And it was as slow as the Ericsson 1080. I don't know whether you were existing those days when you used to have a huge phone, which never used to send an SMS even. The processor of that computer was that slow. And the code was written on paper, and it was actually written by a lady. So that's the evolution. That's how we came. Then we moved on the miniaturization of technology. Another law came into place called the Moore's law. So every 18 months, technology changes. So there's computer power increases. So from the RAM, what you call basically the RAM. So when the RAM increases, the device becomes smaller. RAM increases, device becomes smaller. So you can see that even what has been happening to the miniaturization of technologies, giving birth to the social media wave, which now is happening in the late 90s, coming into the early 2000s. So the advent of Facebook, we have the advent of the YouTubes, Google, and social media platforms, which again were riding on the crest of availability of internet. And then secondly, the changing behavior of consumers when they're interacting with those platforms. So what was happening locally? So let's again reflect on the same waves. Locally here, we had the colonization happening. We had what we call the flights. There's all the flights that were taking Africans to go and study in American and British universities and bring back the knowledge. And so many specialized fields were created then. So we had Dar es Salaam University, Makerere University, and University Nairobi, which were created for their own reasons. So Makerere University was to train doctors, Dar es Salaam University was to train lawyers, Nairobi University was to train engineers. So we still have footprints of that effect today. So that's why you find Nairobi and Kenya as large as a lot of technology, so we actually are forced to reckon in the region in terms of technology. So every new technology needs a skill set to support. So even electricity, you'll be surprised. We used to have an electricity manager when electricity first came. It's the same.
There was a manager.
Yeah. Now, I can tell you, for example, that when social media came, you used to have social media manager.
Yeah.
Nowadays, do you hear of a social media manager? So everyone, by default, is supposed to know how to manage social media.
Yeah.
You can even tell from the young ones. We used to go to college to be taught about Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and you'll put it on your CV that you're proficient in.
Done this.
Yeah.
Now it's a basic.
If you find someone in their CV written that way, now you'll not take them seriously. Yeah.
You're not serious.
Yeah.
Sure.
On the business landscape, look at where did ZTech start? Yeah, just tell me, ZTech, where did it start?
I think it's just about technology.
Yeah, what were they? What was the initial courses they were offering?
They were doing MS Word, those things. You know.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
where are they now?
Now they're
Yeah.
a whole university.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what technology does. It evolves,
Okay.
and then it elevates you now to a level where you are. So that was the third industrial revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we are betting big on the fourth industrial revolution.
Okay.
Now the fourth industrial revolution is being driven by technologies such as smart voice recognition, image recognition,
Yeah.
video recognition, robotic process automation, blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning,
Yeah.
IoT, and those are technologies that we are betting big on. Yeah, we started that journey 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We've been developing training programs, first of all, to evangelize and improve the capability and skill sets
Yeah.
of professionals to work with those tools.
Okay.
We've also been developing softwares.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't start training first. We started by developing softwares because I think people feel
Acquainted to understand
when they see something in action, they'll see, yeah, okay.
Okay.
But then we had to commercialize our softwares.
Okay.
So it's,
I want
yeah,
to cut you short there
Yeah.
because
yeah,
because I don't want to lose my viewers today.
sure. Yeah,
But
go ahead.
I love the history and how you
Yeah.
brought it up and how we are and why we're here now.
Yeah.
And the fact that now everybody can recognize, nowadays even Safaricom says for us to identify you, sometimes, you know, my voice is my password, so even voice recognition and all that, that's
Yeah.
where we are. It's
Yeah.
no longer just a pin and all those kind of things. But I just want to take you back now,
Yeah.
and I want to let my viewers know that actually that you're a teacher and you
Yeah,
teach
yeah.
at Strathmore.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm also on the spot. Sometimes I'm answering questions, no worries. But let's get to the definition terms.
Sure.
Because we're talking big data.
Yeah.
We are talking, data. And somebody is watching and saying, okay, what's all this, by the way? So can we go to the one-on-ones?
Okay.
Just help us just understand. Now that we're talking about data, because with the advent of what you've said, the history
Yeah.
that you've said, then a lot of information is being collected.
Yeah.
Help us understand big data.
Yeah. So I can just break it down
Yeah.
in business terms and then also technological terms. So in technological terms, data is just bytes.
Okay.
Yeah, zeros and ones.
Yes.
So it involves inscription of information to be understood by the computer and also stored. Yeah, so you see a lot of simulations when you see data, it's zeros and ones. The way computer communicates is zeros and ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the model of computers we're using now. But there is another wave of computers coming called quantum computing that does not communicate in zeros and ones.
Okay.
So that's the fifth industrial revolution, yeah?
Okay.
It's coming, yeah.
It's
But you're not, that's not topic for another day. Yeah, so in business definition, data is a set of evidence about a historical happening.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like using the word information, yeah, to define data.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you have a lot of information coming in, yeah, that information forms a piece of insights for the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've got many pages of business transactions. When you compile them, you compile them and you have certain trends. Those trends inform you about the performance of your business.
Okay.
So that becomes a piece of insight that you've got.
Okay.
That insights, if you take action on your insights, that becomes wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a clear demarcation in terms of how information flows into the business. So how does information flow? So it flows in through your, for example, digital assets, your customer networks, your interactions with the different ecosystems. Maybe if you're in production business, manufacturing, there's a lot of things happening on the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you look at the last mile, where you interact with your ecosystem, both on the consumer-facing side and then also on the production side. How are you collecting that information? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of the same of understanding,
Yeah.
and I think I want to help a lot of people who could be watching and are trying to understand this for the first time. There is the place of the brick and mortar, how people just would collect information and store that as data. But now we've gone to the let me use the word machinery level,
Yeah.
where it's going to collect data for yourself as well,
Yeah.
that you can use to make decisions.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that we have even corporates where they go to the last mile,
Yeah.
where they're seeing what's exactly happening on the ground, and they can make decisions based on the information collected.
Yeah, yeah.
From their salespeople, everything
Yeah.
else down there.
Yeah.
And that can really help corporates make decisions on maybe where we need to take more of these shoes if
Yeah.
it's a shoe company,
Yeah.
and these are the
Yeah.
shoes are bought more in these other places because of what they're getting from that. Is it? Wow, love it. So
Yeah.
now, we are trying to understand this. And by the way, let me ask you, because I
Yeah.
see a lot of these apps coming up, and some of them, I go to the place of installing them and I stop because they ask for permissions to access whatever access. That's also data I'm giving, right?
Yeah, precisely, yeah. Information you're giving out. Yeah.
So we need to be
Yeah,
careful when we're
yeah.
giving that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, every time you encounter the word data, just replace it with information.
Information.
Your life will be much easier and you'll be able to manage the information that you're giving out
Okay.
a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
get now to the businesses.
Yes.
Because especially startups and SMEs, because we have a lot of people who are watching now on that.
Yeah.
How is big data and the analysis of it helping in increasing the business revenues and even footprint?
Yeah. So, in principle, data involves three dimensions. Yeah. So, data enables discoveries. Yeah. So,
like that.
if you look at this Melvin's box that's sitting
Yeah.
in front of us, so they consider this as a sets of data.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you've sorted them according to a certain order.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've sorted them according to color, brand, size. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So there was a sort of methodology that we are using when you're doing that sorting.
Yeah.
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 So that's information big. So in a business also that happens.
Yeah.
You have information. Can you imagine having this jumbled up in a box somewhere?
I do
You will not
this.
have known, I mean, how many Melvins you have which are green, how many are yellow, how many are, and
Absolutely.
which brands, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's the same principle that happens. So data is for creating discoveries.
Yeah.
The first principle is by creating, in business we call them dashboards,
Yeah.
yeah? But in ordinary language, it's called visualizations.
Okay.
Creating visualizations help you understand
Yeah.
and create patterns. So visualization are graphs, yeah, and traditional tools we've been using to create graphs, like PowerPoint, we have Excel, yeah, those are traditional, available to everyone,
Yeah.
yeah. We have chart, organograms, even doodling using your hand, you can create those, yeah. So the first principle in business is about enabling discoveries to be made. So remove your data from where it's sitting,
Okay.
apply and arrange it in certain order to be able to make. So the next thing that will happen is, and I think most companies have excelled in that,
Yeah.
they have licenses they've paid for, they have a consultant who comes and cleans the data for them,
Yeah.
they have an accountant who will even come and
Do the books.
do the books and even show them that this is your profitability,
Yeah.
and even go further and provide for them a management accounting report and show if you continue with this trend, then this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now the next part, so on the first part of discoveries, I don't know whether we're going to tackle the issue of what needs to be done later or just
No,
go.
actually, just flow with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now for the discoveries part, one of the things that needs to happen for businesses is like investing now in these tools and tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, discoveries. So that's where artificial intelligence comes in to help you
Yeah.
create discoveries. Yeah. So there's data that you have internally,
Yeah.
which is now your sales records, your financial records, and any other data that you generate from your internal
Which is common
assets.
for every business. You have
Exactly.
that information.
Yeah, yeah. Then there's data that you need to correlate. Yeah, so the data that will come from outside. So for example, you want to penetrate a new market.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe you're a manufacturer of shoes and you want to target a certain demographic, maybe gender. Yeah, and you want to open a new factory. So say somewhere in Kajiado.
Yeah.
You know, what is informing your decision? Yeah, so you need to have external data.
So there's a
True.
lot of help on the why
Yeah,
and what's informing you
Yeah.
from the data that has been received.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
for someone who wants to start such a business in Kajiado,
Yeah,
he needs to get some data from Kajiado somewhere. Somebody
Yeah.
who has stored that data, right?
yeah. So for example, the Kenya Census data has got very rich information about our demographic distribution,
Yeah.
gender, age, Yeah, and also the what you call the poverty attributes.
Yeah.
So economic index. So we have divided every sublocation according to the economic propensity.
Yeah.
Even looking at how many Mabati houses are in one sublocation,
Okay.
that data is available. How many mobile phones are in each sublocation, that data is available.
Okay.
Yeah, so we want to encourage businesses to start creating discoveries using those kind of data.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All
that's
right.
the first step, discovery, data discovery.
first.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My goodness, and I hope you're taking those. If you're there and you have any questions, please feel free. I'm also on the learning seat, so feel free to, get to learn because, Timothy, we're going to get practical because I will throw in a business here and it will help us see how we can, using data, navigate through, especially on the marketing angle of it. So we are talking about deploying data. And so once you have this data, for example, like we have given an example, the question is how do you deploy now these solutions to your business? Is there a relationship now that you've discovered this? How do you deploy that? And maybe I am not really aware. Okay, I've gotten the data. I have some data information that I've received. How do I now implement this into my business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually that leads to the second step, which is now decision making.
Decision making.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's actually another huge task.
Discovery, then decision making.
Discovery, then decision.
Wow.
Comes a huge task that businesses are always faced with.
Yeah.
You may have the insights, yes. You know that if you open a skin or hide manufacturing company here, you'll make this amount of market penetration, but you still don't go and implement it. So decision making is a critical component of businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you make decisions? So this now where psychological limitations come in.
Okay.
Yeah. So the what we call barriers to decision making.
Yeah.
We call them mental biases. Yeah, very, very big. And there's so many mental biases. So including anchoring bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bandwagon bias, and maybe just to mention a few which are relevant to this subject for businesses.
Yeah.
So bandwagon bias is just jumping into something because other people are doing it, but you've not aligned yourself to it.
Yeah.
So before the fact you're talking about big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
you jump into that. Yeah, and you've seen many people, making mistakes because of that kind of mindset. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the anchoring bias is a bias where you have been successful before and you don't want to change your way of work, your way of thinking to adapt to the changing environment. And maybe let me not belabor the point by giving an example of Nokia. Who did not see what was happening.
Absolutely.
Kodak, who were not seeing the advent of mobile phones and changed the business model.
Wow.
And you can see what they were market leaders then. And that example is replicable everywhere. Right now, if you look at the most profitable business on the stock exchange, I mean, it's not the traditional companies, motor vehicle companies. It's not the airlines.
It's not.
It's technology companies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, even the top blue chip companies now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even here locally, it's Safaricom with data as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
In fact, somebody was saying it's the big bank now. It's the biggest bank in terms of revenues as well.
Yeah. So the biggest investment in businesses right now is on the decision-making side.
Okay.
So how do you create better decision-making? So first of all, being hyper-aware. Hyper-aware means attending such events and being conscious of the changing environment, being aware that this technology is the one which is coming to take you to the next frontier.
Yeah.
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 Then the other thing that you also need to do is fast execution. So when you become aware about a changing technology, you also need to put in place a mechanism to adapt to that.
Yeah.
So what we see happening in most corporates is they set up innovation streams, innovation hubs. The banks do it so well.
Yeah.
They set up innovation labs where they start testing and getting new technologies. They work actually with universities.
Yeah.
Because most of this knowledge comes from academia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you know the definition of academia, private sector, and government.
Okay.
So
academia is institutional.
Academia looks in front.
In front.
Academia comes up with technologies. When people write their thesis, they always told, can you create something that has not happened before?
Okay.
Yeah. So for you to challenge your PhD thesis, you have to create an innovation.
Something new.
These technologies that we're talking about today in big data analytics were existing in the 60s. But on paper.
On paper.
Yeah. So the biggest employers of big data engineers and machine learning experts are Facebook, Google, Amazon. The heads of those departments are 60, 70-year-old professors.
goodness.
This knowledge they had. Yeah,
Wow.
So the only thing which has changed is the technology was not there to automate the
Yes.
knowledge they had. So now the technology is there. There's a computer which can process information much faster. So the mathematical equation they developed can be processed within that.
Very fast now.
Yeah. Then for businesses, so academia is about forward. Businesses is about today.
Today.
And that's also another mental bias. So businesses don't want to waste their time in the innovation. They tell you, I need to make profit this year.
Yeah.
I need to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are very impatient. Yeah. Someone wants to work on something today and tomorrow it's making money.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but then in this field, that's not how it works. It's some threshold of patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's organic. Like it grows slowly and then reaches a point. I like using the bamboo example. You know how bamboo grows?
Absolutely. It takes some years before it sprouts.
Yeah. Then when it sprouts within 7 months, it's gone.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the government on the other side lags behind. The government waits for something to happen.
Yeah.
Then they'll come and regulate it. Yeah. It's still like the
Like they do it with the tax and stuff and all
the
those.
cryptocurrencies.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll let guys lose their money there, get hit a bit. Then they set up a commission of inquiry. They'll come investigate. Now, why was this happening? Now, can we set up a task force now too? So it's just by default that's how the world order.
Yeah.
So academia, businesses have to work closely with the academia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why some programs at Strathmore Business School help address and bridge that gap of knowledge to businesses by bringing a lot of this innovation to the front of business applications.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just throw in questions that are coming through my head as you're speaking.
Yeah.
Paint for us a picture, because in Kenya we boast as one of the leaders in Africa when it comes to matters infrastructure like internet.
Yeah.
And even penetration of all these techs that we're seeing.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you said even from the advent we were almost poised to be the leaders because of the university that we have here and how it was founded. So paint for us a picture, especially for me as a business person, to know that hey, I need to seriously start thinking about embracing data analysis for the success of my business.
Yeah.
So help us out. Where are we?
Yeah, so I'd like to move to the next one because now I told you there were 3 dimensions.
Oh, there were
for
3,
data.
absolutely, yeah.
So
there
now
was
I'll answer your
decision
question.
making.
Yeah, so
Yes.
what do you think the third one is? After making your discovery, then you make your decision, what should be the next one?
Mwalimu, I don't know, is it
It's
implementation or money?
Now, dividends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason why you're sitting
So
in
they're
this
all
building-
D's, right?
Yeah, the reason we're sitting in this building is about dividends. You want to?
I
You want
love
to make
this.
money. So there are
Okay.
3 D's, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so data to discovery,
Yeah.
data to
Decision making.
decisions, then data to dividends.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, businesses need to make money. And
That's the bottom line.
that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So the reason that businesses have to make data their business is because of the dividend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is this driven? So either you're using data to reduce your operational costs or you're using data to grow your revenues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To know where to go and sell what.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Which market do you expand to? How do you innovate? How do you vary your product? How do you do your pricing metrics, the pricing margins? Yeah. So using modern tools such as dynamic pricing. So I like to see the price of tea vary depending on which market it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, even depending on the time of the day. Yeah. So we still are doing many things traditional. But if you look at the airline industry, which is demand and supply, yeah. If you look at modern business platforms such as Booking.com, Airbnb, how they've been able to disrupt the hotel industry is by having dynamic booking.
Yeah.
So you have a surge in demand for a service or product, the price goes up.
Okay.
If there is a
Low
decline,
demand,
the price goes down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those are the kind of infusion of data into businesses that is helping inform the models, new models that businesses are starting to run with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this. Discovery, decision making, and dividends.
Yeah.
And if this is all embraced, because the last thing definitely is the bottom line of any business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely you want to see the money coming in. So back to my question.
Yeah.
Paint for us a picture of where we are here in the country and why anyone doing business and looking forward to going big needs to seriously think about data and data analysis.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course Kenya's had a breakaway.
Yeah.
It's been able to break away from the rest, especially because we had a very good leadership, a stable economic environment, and also an enabling technological space to be able to innovate. Yeah, so we have M-Pesa here, which is already gone global. You can see how we've been able to create create that. Yeah, so just leveraging on that and then looking at the penetration of the internet. Yeah, we are among the country with the highest internet connection speeds.
Yeah,
and this is not just in the urban areas, but also in the rural areas. So there's higher internet penetration. Smartphone numbers are growing. Connection to social media platforms are growing. Yeah. So what does that mean? So in this evolution of data, data is on the third tier. So the first tier is digitalization. Where you transform from analog to digital. We've fared so well in that. So the same way you had the first industrial revolution, second, third to fourth. Also, we have to evolve. You cannot you cannot have data to analyze if not digitized. So can you imagine if you're still talking on the phone booth? How will you Fuliza, for example? So Fuliza relies on your M-Pesa transaction history. To develop a model and give a recommendation on how much you should be given. So we can look at that in terms of the advantages which have been set apart by the previous evolution. So digitalization has helped us. We have websites. Our websites can carry information. We've created plugins in those websites. So we've transformed our website just for places for information to places of action.
So you can know the number of clicks that you're getting, how many visits,
beyond
all that.
Actually, there's attention, interest, desire, then action. So you come and see that I like, this Melvin's cap. So what's the next thing? Do I need to go and buy it in a shop? No. So you just create an e-commerce platform. So when I see it, I like it, let me buy it there and then. So that's the e-commerce engine. And that's what we're encouraging businesses to look at the entire. And then after you do that, then let's talk about analytics. But then we cannot talk about analytics yet you don't have those websites. Because what will you analyze?
That's true, by the way. And does that inform then why sometimes if I visit a certain site, all of a sudden, on my machine or on my phone, I'll start getting a bit of ads. Let me know that you can actually get this from here.
Yes, exactly. So those are cookies which have been embedded in these websites. That's how analytics is used. So we call it recommendation engines. And it goes even beyond visiting websites, even just by talking. So these mobile applications that we carry, even the mobile phones, they listen to our conversations. So you could be having an innocent conversation with your friends about visiting Naivasha, for example, for the rally. And it will start recommending to you hotels that you need to book in.
Go to.
So those are the kind of artificial intelligence applications that businesses need to take advantage of. So you don't need to have the skill to do it, but you need to be aware that I can do it. So how do you take advantage of that? So by creating a good SEO engine for your adverts, you can be able to get the right mix of clients at an optimum budget. So it's about, remember, dividend, minimizing costs. So don't splash. There's an advertising approach we call splash and spray and pray. Where you just go and blast millions of shillings advertising, then you wait for the customers to come. Right now it's targeted.
Very targeted.
Everything is measured. Do this or get this.
No wonder even for your Facebook ads, Google ads, you have specifications even to age the kind of people you're targeting.
That's granularity.
Very lovely, and I hope you're seeing this, business people. Let me just give a shout out to a few people who are checking out. Of course, great insights. Samuel, thanks a lot, very informative. But I'm going to use Samuel's example. This guy has amazing peanut butter. He was here. He makes it very nicely, and I'm sure he would really want to know how to use his data, whatever he's collecting, or maybe how to even collect it. How that would be the example that we're going to look through. Just a shout out to some of the people. Joel, I hope that now the sound is good on my end. I think I was not very audible, but I think now it's corrected. Then we have Joe, very informative as well. That's what he's saying. Cecilia and Degwa taking notes. I tell you, you better. I'm also sitting down here on the learning seat as well to just get to understand this. Now, Kenya is poised, we are there, all these things are happening and all those kind of things. So what's the future of this, before I get to now what you do in your lab, what's the future of this? Because now you've painted the picture of where we are. What's the future of this? And by the way, I would want to understand, because from where I sat, some time back, I thought AI was going to be big, but AI is connected to data as well. So help us understand the future. In fact, I would call it the future of businesses.
So it's becoming inevitable that businesses have to start taking the business of data seriously. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The business of data, seriously. Yeah. And as I mentioned, we are moving out of the first crest of disillusionment. We had the first wave. So this first wave of excitement is always driven. You'll see the number of conferences around.
Yeah.
So conferences do help in evangelizing, yeah? But they do very little in terms of heavy lifting. Some of those things you learn in conferences, you're not able to apply because it leaves you what we call high and dry.
Yeah, you're very excited.
But when you go back to the business, there's no support system for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because for a support system to happen, you need the skills. You know. Yeah, you need the skills right there with you.
Yeah.
You need consultants to work with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also technology companies to come and support you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of work being done by the technology companies that exist, the Microsoft, Oracles. Yeah, but the market is too big for us to leave it to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the government has also come in and created, an environment which is enabling businesses to have an opportunity to learn these new technologies. Yeah. Yeah. So also in terms of the government's input, is about the regulatory landscape. Yeah, you've seen just in the last 3 years the cybercrimes law came into effect.
Yeah.
We have the data protection bill, which was enacted, and actually an office was set up, led by a data commissioner, which is to take cognizance, of the evolving landscape that we are facing. Now, businesses will be required to do data audits, to just declare to the government how much information they have, and how much of that information of their customers, do the customers know that they have that information. Okay. So that's how serious it's going to be. Wow. So the same way we were doing our tax returns, the deadline was 2 days ago, yeah? So in the future, business will also be doing the data audits. Yeah? Wow. Yeah. So it's inevitable that businesses have to take the business of data seriously, given the seriousness it deserves. Yeah. Yeah. Whether it's voluntarily or as a regulatory requirement. Yeah. Because as we gravitate towards digitalization and using digital tools, it's inevitable that we're going digital first. Yeah. And this gravitation has just been lent more impetus by what we call COVID-accelerated digital transformation. Yeah. We are working more at home. We've done more virtualization in the last 6 months than ever before. Yeah. You've seen the value of companies which are driven by technologies for, just having quantum leaps in terms of the evolution. Yeah. Yeah. So it's inevitable. We're not going to go back again. So if you look at the third, if there was someone who was still struggling with the automation, like he doesn't have an email, like he doesn't need a laptop at work. Now, you have to have a laptop because you're working from home. So there's no one who's still in the second to third revolution. Yeah. So people have digitized. Okay. Now with this digitization, what we call the breadcrumbs, digital breadcrumbs. So every time you interact online or digitally, you're leaving trails of information behind you. Wow. Now that's what fuels big data. Wow. So without that trail, we'll have not enough information.
There'll be no enough data.
But now we can analyze information based on a lot of interactions with people online. Yeah. So that's good news for us. So the future is because of virtualization and the push towards digital interventions. We have a lot of data to analyze, so more solutions for us. Technically, when you develop predicting models, the more data you feed into a predictive model, the more accurate it becomes. Yeah. So you know what that means. You have more data, you have more accuracy. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just starting, but we're going to see a lot of innovations coming. Yeah. Yeah. In Kenya, one of the examples that I like sharing is the Kakamega twins. That is data at work. Yeah. Wow. Facebook has got those facial recognition algorithms that help people match. That when you go to your timeline, it recommends that you know this friend. Yeah. So those two girls will never have known each other why not for Facebook's algorithm. It matched there. There's an algorithm called the digital geometry for facial recognition. And so that looks at the size of your nose, your eyes, and then says this could be. These are the and that's what happens when you upload someone's photo on Facebook, your friends, it auto tags them. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. And they're like, hey. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how data is used. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can see that Kakamega Twins one really is a good example. Yeah. Can I ask you this? Because it just hit me now. Yeah. Remember this Huduma number? We give a lot of information to it. Yeah. And then I heard there was some leakage. How bad is it? Yeah, so I'm not in a space to comment about that, but I think the government has got its own mechanism of addressing leakages, and that's why the Data Protection Act is there. Okay. just the other day, and I can talk one that's information that's publicly available.
Yeah.
You know, there was a political party that was sending people SMSs
Yeah.
that you're a member of this political party. Yeah, so the Data Commissioner's office is already busy. you know. Yeah, it's already busy.
It's already busy
handling
checking
that
it out.
issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Wow, lovely. Yeah, because people are saying, how did I even join some other places?
yeah, because
and
see
all
what
that?
happens when I walk into this building. I
Yeah.
left my details at the security.
Yeah.
So you don't know where that where that
book
book will
goes
end
to.
up. Yeah.
Speaking of which, some it's not here, but
Yeah.
some other places,
Yeah. Yeah.
that book is full of contacts and all those kind of things.
It does. It
That's
always is.
valuable information.
It always is. Yeah.
I would
So
not
those
say
are-
what people do.
Yeah, so those are the kind of sensitivities that we want to tell businesses to be conscious about.
Yeah.
How do you anonymize your customers' information? Because you're going to be liable to pay a fine by
Yeah.
court
Yeah.
if a customer accurately claims that you infringed on the information.
You took the information to use it for
Yeah, yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Goodness Lord. Now, I want to move to a little bit of getting practical.
Yeah.
And of course, definitely we'll talk about your lab.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my guy, the example I gave. I want to just jump in because the question for me would be where should startups and SMEs begin? Because I
Yes.
am running an SME, I make very nice cups.
Yeah.
Let's use the peanut butter example. Samuel makes amazing peanut butter. He's struggling to probably scale up, stuff like that. And I know I'm jumbling this question to you, but I want to throw it to you, know how to answer it out.
Yeah.
Because from what you're saying and what you're speaking, Timothy, is that even when I'm seated, I don't need a lot of jargon to understand business.
Yeah.
If I have data with me, right now, I can probably look at Kajiado from the data and decide, this is the business I'm going to start there. And I would be almost certain that there will be a success rate because of the data informed. Of course, assuming that I have a lot of enough data. That's a yes, is it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love that.
Yeah.
So now let's get back to Samuel.
Yeah.
He is a startup. He's doing amazing peanut butter. It's good quality. I take it, I'm like, hey, you better have this, Timothy. I mean, it's amazing. How can he, from where he's seated, and from all the contacts he has and whatever, how can he leverage on any data he can receive to grow his own business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So for SMEs and startups, one of the biggest advantages they have is they have motivation.
Yeah,
You've got the
absolutely.
motivation to
Yeah.
succeed. Yeah. So remember, you're on the growth phase. So
Yeah.
during that growth phase, it's always characterized by resilience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the same principle which applies on data, because data is still in the nascent stages of being applied to businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the stage where I can actually encourage them to use a lot more of these tools to be able to create and better insights. So first, it will be able to reduce wastages, by creating proper targeting
Okay.
of their market potential, and then also to develop right predictions in terms of the consumption trends. So at least to avoid overproduction of the commodities.
Yeah.
Because
Or
most
the
of
peanut
these,
butter, for example. Yeah.
yeah, most of these commodities are time bound. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
you don't want to end up with a lot of expiries.
Yeah.
You also don't want to expose your commodities to counterfeits by overproducing, and you don't have to keep track of what's happening out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things we do for businesses is to be able to create models. Yeah, so you already have been in business for some time, so you have some existing data. So we analyze the existing data, and we're able to mine data in terms of the attributes of those existing customers, and then now we go and map it to another larger data set of other existing customers. Then we look for similarities.
Okay.
Your loyal customers, what are their attributes? What are their likes?
Yeah.
What are the, in terms of age, behaviorally, regionally, where do they find them? What time of the day they process the product?
Yeah.
Now when you go and map it on a new data set, you'll separate the chief from the chaff.
Wow.
So that's how you do targeting. Then
And you'll be able to now get more related people who
Exactly.
want to buy your product.
profiles. Yeah, yeah. Because they say the data doesn't lie. Yeah?
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
So, you know what you're saying, Timothy? You're killing the billboards. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Billboards in business, we actually have a machine learning software that helps advertisers choose the right billboard for them. It's a live tool that's actually running.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
somebody was telling me there's a reason why you see the latest Audi
Yeah.
being advertised on, roads that leads to Runda and wastelands and all.
Yeah.
Then you'll see a very nice Probox on some other roads. I don't want to mention, people might attack me.
Yeah.
But it's all about data and where people are, their economic status and all those kind of things as well.
Yeah. It's about that demographic and targeting. Yeah.
So what you're saying, even for people who go to advertise on billboards and the likes, you want to be informed before you just jump in.
Yeah, we have that data that shows which brands advertise where.
Wow.
Yeah, so that actually mimics or resonates with the demographic of that place.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is now making sense a lot for me now.
Yeah.
Predictive analytics.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your lab now.
Yeah.
And of course, I know in the bits you've mentioned what you do, but let people know, because probably somebody's saying, okay, that's important. So where do I see you? Where do I get you? And we're telling them it's at Predictive Analytics Lab.
Yeah.
And what do you do there for them?
Yeah, yeah. So thank you for that. So Predictive Analytics Lab was primarily founded against a backdrop of providing tools and interventions to help businesses. Yeah. So we purely founded ourselves for the sake of businesses. Yeah. Yeah. To help them make sense of their data. Yeah. Yeah. So how do we do that? So we do that through softwares. Yeah. So we develop softwares. Yeah. And I'll be breaking down softwares. We run training programs. We develop data strategies. Yeah. And also we do data analysis itself. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if I go back to softwares, so we develop softwares using machine learning technologies. Yeah. Yeah, so the example of the softwares that we have is the one I'm telling you that helps advertisers and business people locate the best location for their shop. For their shops. Wow. You can go to that app. I can give a link they can download. Yeah. You can use it. Yeah. Yeah. So you can download an app and you go and take a photo of a building where you want to open a shop. Yeah. And we have a list of businesses that we've put on that dashboard that can recommend what business you can put in that place. So you, depending on what you want, a kiosk, you want a garage, you want a barber shop, you want a salon, a bar, just choose it. Then upload the photo, and then the system will tell you the viability of that area to that business. Yeah. Wow. In terms of it pulls data of existing businesses. Yeah, they're right there. So we've been able to embed algorithms from Google Maps. So if you put a bar, it will show you how many bars are around there. Wow. And there's some businesses, we call this location intelligence. So there are businesses which thrive when you have other businesses around. Yeah, that's true. And that's why you have the beer belts. Like a hotel needs a place where people can come and eat. No, like for example, you go to Kirinyaga Road, you find garages. Oh yeah, garages are there. You go to Kenyatta Market, you'll find salons. That's true. There are businesses which thrive when the other businesses around. Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying related, kind of? Yeah, so that's the model we've developed, the algorithm. Okay. So it tells you if you open your business here, this is the performance of the business. Okay. You'll succeed or the rate of you failing. Yeah. Yeah. And then also it has information around what licenses you need, how much capital, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing that we do is creating for you a model that you can be able to understand. If you want to open a new store, even banks use it. If you want to open a new branch, is it going to be viable in this area? Yeah. Do I need to open a bank or do I just need to create more agents around here to support the existing bank? Wow. Yeah, so it's location intelligence. So that's our first software. Yeah. We have another software that we've developed for predicting the next employee to quit the company. Yeah, so about predictions. Yeah. Yeah, so this is used by mostly HR professions. Yeah, so you're able to look at the performance and 7 different attributes of an employee. Wow. And you can see whether the employee is headed, it will not last more than 2-3 months. Oh, I love this. That insight is important so that you can be able to create the right intervention before it happens. I have to ask a question. Yeah. What are some elements that you pick up on that data? So that one, that for HR employees, we look at employee satisfaction, we look at the number of years employee has worked, his salary range. Yeah. We look at how many promotions he's been given before, how many projects he does. There are like 8 different parameters. And we use 15 algorithms because you have to test the accuracy of the algorithm. So the accuracy the algorithm that we choose to use has an accuracy of 98%. That means for a HR profession, you might end up just having a 2-minute interview of just meet the face because you have a lot of information with it. Exactly, yeah. By the time someone is walking in that door coming for an interview, you can tell whether he's employable or not. Wow. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, yeah. So also in the finance sector, we develop softwares for the banking industry for predicting churn. What is churn? The next employee to default paying an installment. Yeah. Or an employee who's about to default paying a loan. Yeah. Yeah. So this time of COVID has brought in what we call unprecedented circumstances. So most banks are recalibrating loans around that. Yeah. But businesses can also use the same to predict who's the next customer they can acquire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in principle, our softwares are doing what you call predicting and preventing. Traditionally, what businesses have been doing is detecting and repair.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to analyze data in hindsight and say, my performance last year was because of this and this, and I think I did this because this happened. I lost 2 salespeople, yeah, or my shipment delayed from China, so I didn't produce on time. So you try to give reasons after things have happened.
Yeah.
But now with our softwares, they pick up, they don't look at the hindsight, they look at foresight. So you feed it with data about your previous performance, and it will produce for your model, looking at the pattern that you've been performing and say, if you continue this trend, this is what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now your work as a business entrepreneur is to focus on what's going to be happening in the future.
Wow.
Yeah. So the data is as good as the information that comes out, because now as a business person, remember this decision part.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
make
So
decisions
you want
based
to
on
play a
this.
bit more part on the decision part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what sets apart leaders. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be the one technically doing the analysis, but you are the domain expertise.
Yeah.
So if you're in manufacturing, you know, if you're in training, or if you run a restaurant, that's your expertise.
Yeah.
So you want to put all your energies in that. So you let us support you in the softwares that we can give you, but now you focus on the output that's coming from those softwares to make the right decision based on that.
And this can apply almost everywhere, from
Yeah.
hospitals to what? Everything.
Exactly, yeah. In hospitals, in patient care, there's now what you call the same principle, predictive. So hospitals will shut down in future. Why? Because you'll be predicting that you'll be sick. No, serious. In the developed world right now, the doctors are being reassigned roles. The kind of curriculums being taught in medical schools is quite different.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about predicting. Now, just look at the way COVID is being analyzed, yeah?
True that.
It doesn't help to analyze data for yesterday. It's about predicting the waves. And these lockdowns are there to prevent, you know.
Yeah, the
further.
upsurges and all that. Yeah.
So healthcare is changing, yeah,
Wow.
from curing to prevention.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's philosophy.
That's like the future, man.
Exactly. That's philosophy is what we're trying to talk about here. Yeah.
Wow. Goodness, Lord.
Yeah. So the second thing that we do is training.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So training, we have 3 verticals of training.
Yeah.
So we train you in technical skills. Yeah. You'll come. We train you with particular softwares that you use for data analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our courses are certified by NITA. Yeah. And as I mentioned, we also have a lab in the UK, where we are also getting certifications certified by the UK. These are global certifications, that you're able to do. And then to show, we'll give you certificate of participation, and then certificate of competency. Certificate of competency based on the exams that you'll have done. Yeah. And why this is important is because in these technologies, we are seeing still different people doing courses online, you know. So we still are just seeing local universities developing curriculums for this. Yeah. So we still don't have local graduates. So we'll be trying to fill that talent gap by providing those training programs. Yeah, to be able to fit into what the traditional skills have been. Yeah. So there's what you call career decay. Yeah. So there's some careers right now which are quite redundant. There's even a tool that we use to analyze how long you still have with your career, and the results are quite varying. You've got roles which are called rule-based laws, such as accounting, that have got a higher decay rate. To laws which are human-facing, such as nursing, that have got a more long and lengthy. Because as we talk about fourth industrial revolution, it's about robotic automation. So we are seeing softwares and robots going to take over other jobs. So the jobs which are gone, and they're going completely. Never to come back, but there are jobs which will be created, and those are the jobs which we are focusing on as a lab. So we train businesses as well. We train professionals. So we have programs for HR, programs for finance, programs for marketers. And also that's the professional vertical. And then the last vertical is industry vertical. So we have programs for banking industry. We have programs for healthcare industry. We have programs for insurance sector, manufacturing sector. So we design programs, and we've partnered with the professional bodies, for example. We've partnered with ISPAC in the past. We've partnered with the IHRM for HR in the past. For the industries, we've partnered with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers to develop training programs for manufacturers. And the partnerships are still open. We're still open to partner. To be able to create
and you're also
knowledge.
not just local.
Yeah, no, actually, our biggest client base is from across the region.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have an active lab in Johannesburg in South Africa.
Wow.
We have another lab in Johannesburg, I mean, in the UK, fully registered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our programs run across. We have clients in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Namibia. And actually, COVID just helped open up.
More
so
opportunities,
so we have no restriction in terms of where we can reach. The same problems that businesses are facing locally are the same problems
they're facing outside as well.
Yeah.
Wow, lovely. That's a lot of credibility right there. So question, I'm just going to shoot it as it is.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, how can I join? Yeah, tell us, okay, how can I join predictive analytics? That's the question.
Yeah. So
I think they're asking maybe how to join the lab.
I'll join, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can just go to our website, www.predictiveanalytics.co.ke.
Okay.
Yeah, then you find the place there where the courses that we offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can also send us an email.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to respond to you. The email is on the website.
It's on the website. So please visit that, www.predictiveanalytics.co.ke.
Yeah.
Lovely. And by the way, this is just, it's open for anyone, is it?
It's open, yeah. We are democratizing data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 80% of our participants are coming from non-technical backgrounds, and they end up being the best. Yeah. So
can I ask you this question, because you mentioned it, the one for location intelligence?
Yeah.
You said it's just there.
Yeah, we've had time. We could have done a live tool. You could see where those participants are watching from. Yeah.
I know.
You can see on a dashboard. It's quite exciting.
You have an HDMI cable. I wish you had one. I would have already done it and then sent it there. But not worry. Next time when you're here, we shall do it live. So another question here. What's the biggest areas of opportunities for data science students and practitioners?
Yeah. So the biggest areas of opportunities are in consulting. I know you may want me to tell you about employment. Employment is always there, but I think we have the tricky thing about data science is you automate yourself out of your job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you cannot be a data scientist and work in a place for more than 1.5 years.
You automate yourself out of it.
Yeah. If you're really genuine about what you're doing there, you automate. You create a script that does your work. Yeah. So the biggest opportunity, but then the biggest industry is employing right now is telco sector. Yeah. The telco sector has huge volumes of data that they derive from their customers.
That's true.
Yeah. Voice, images, transactional data. You can just see Safaricom and look at the mobile phone. It's amazing.
I know even the apps and what they're doing now.
Yeah. And then the other second sector is the banking industry. So the banking industry has got also a huge appetite. Yeah. For their biggest appetite is on reducing risk. Yeah. Reducing risk of loans. Yeah. So they're always building models that can predict about churn or credit scoring for loans defaults. And then the other industry also is retail. Yeah. So customer acquisition. So data scientists have a lot of work to do in those industries. Yeah. So if you are planning to acquire those skills, you're definitely guaranteed of opportunities. Yeah. It's really a good place to be in right now as a profession.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just read this as it is. I know it may not be related, but anyway. Stephen Zioka. I'm a student at Muranga University taking entrepreneurship and small enterprises management, and I've found myself giving people many business solution advices. How can I turn that into a business? I don't know whether you can advise the student.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's a good thing that you're actually sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because through sharing also you tend to grow your network.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what you might need to do is create a platform where you are sharing that information. Yeah. Let it be organized. Yeah. So for example, just having someone book an appointment with you when you want to share. Yeah. That's a first sign that
there's something
you're valuing. Yeah. And then also you can put a rate. Yeah. To your service. Yeah. So it's good to do pro bono. Yeah. You can leave some space that you're doing pro bono. Yeah. But then also make
just
the
live
perspective.
with that.
Yeah. And then also rely on referrals. So go back to the guys you've given your advice before. Yeah. Let them do for you testimonials. Did it work for them? Yeah. That was it. And then let them recommend other businesses. Yeah. To come on board or something. Yeah.
You know, we have spoken for more than an hour now.
Yes,
you know,
okay.
I mean, this information is amazing.
Yeah.
And you can tell we can't end this conversation. And
Yeah.
of course, definitely you have to sit back here because we need to always predict the future.
Sure.
I've done with this question though.
Yeah.
What in this career, this entire profession of data, are you most proud of?
Yeah. So I think what I'm most proud of is, you know, just to, I left a corner office, yeah, and go right at the muddy, you know.
The ground.
Yeah, the ground, yeah. Yeah, the ground, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it involved a lot of things, including changing the schools that my kids were going. We had to move them to, you know, cheaper schools, just to be able to change life. I even had to move to another location where I'm staying.
Wow.
Yeah, and I started building my business ground up. So, so I think
that was a bold move.
yeah, it was a bold move, and I think my vision on the betting and the support I got from the family was quite good, because I think it needed sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think 4 years later, yeah, the fortunes are actually paying.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's something that I'm proud of, to have made that sacrifice then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goodness, Timothy, we must have you here again. And we're going to get practical. I like that location mapping. Somewhere, I saw you doing that, so we'd love to also see it here live and how it can help out in these kind of things.
Sure.
And goodness, Lord, from where I sit, I feel like we have just done some 5% of what we should speak about big time, where we can get into details and help out people. But remember, if you really want to get in touch, you can always go to predictiveanalytics.co.ke and, you know, get to see what courses they're offering, what you can learn from there, and, you know, make better decisions for yourself and your company as well. Because at the end of it all, we talked about dividends as the last thing, so you can make better money. Of course, with better mapping, you'll get to know better money as well. I still, and I hope we can agree to this, I want to take a challenge with you later on after this, because I want to do a data-driven sort of mapping for the businesses we do as well, and I would like to come and report back as well to our people that, listen, this is what is happening, this is where we are going, definitely, so we can get practical, right?
We are very practical in our approach, and those are the kind of challenges that we like, because it helps bring to life, a lot of things that we've done. And most of these solutions actually are lying, and we always like people using them so that at least they can see the value of them. Wow. Thank
you, Timothy, for coming.
Sure.
All right, there you have it. It's past 9. Please get to work, and I hope you're making data-driven decisions. If you're not, you better get to predictive analytics. Thank you so much for your time. That's BizTalks for now. Bye-bye.